28 Years Later, The Bone Temple is a direct sequel to 28 Years Later, picking up right after with Spike having just met Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal and his gang. He's basically forced to join their group, adopt the name of Jimmy, and do whatever he is told. Meanwhile, Dr. Ian Kelson still lives a semi-mundane life at the Bone Temple. That is, until his latest run-in with Samson sparks his scientific curiosity, and he decides to experiment on the effects of the rage virus on the Alpha. Hey everyone, I'm the guy with no name. Thanks for stopping by my channel. If you're a return viewer and you've been wondering where the heck I've been, let's just say that reports of my death have been greatly exaggerated. No, but honestly, I've just been busy with family stuff, work. I've been slammed with work, working late hours. Really been so much fun. I've loved every second of it. Also, my family and I decided to get the flu on the 24th, just in time for Christmas. So that was awesome. It took a while to recover. Of course, once I recovered, went straight back to work, working late hours again. Took a much needed vacation, which was nice. Got back and got hit with really bad allergies. So a lot of fun stuff that's been keeping me from making videos. But I'm back. I'm happy to be back. Thank you guys for your patience. For those of you who were waiting with bated breath for the next Guy with No Name review. No, but if you enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing. I'm just a simple channel trying to make my way in the universe and would appreciate any support I could get. 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, while still being written by Alex Garland, was directed this time around by Nia DaCosta and stars Ralph Fiennes as Dr. Ian Kelson, Jack O'Connell as Sir Lord Jimmy Crystal himself, Alfie Williams as Spike, and Aaron Kellyman as a fellow Jimmy who befriends and helps Spike. Let me start off by saying something that I think is really important. Please don't see this movie if you haven't seen 28 Years Later. I don't know if anyone's considering seeing this, if they haven't seen the first 28 Years Later, but it definitely assumes that you've seen it, and it doesn't do any type of job trying to catch you up, like really at all, and just jumps right into it and, you know, continues the story from the first one. So, yeah, if you're considering seeing this one, go ahead and watch 28 Years Later first, because I have no idea how you would enjoy this if you haven't, honestly. Also, as this is a continuation of the first 28 Years Later, it's essentially 28 Years Later Part 2. There's really no way to review this without comparing it at least somewhat to 28 Years Later. And if you've watched my review of the first 28 Years Later, you would know that I liked it quite a bit. And actually, I was very excited for The Bone Temple and was very happy that it was coming out so soon after 28 Years Later had come out. Then I saw the first trailer and my excitement kind of died down a little bit. It was really crazy and bizarre and didn't look that good to me. But I still went in hopeful, and thankfully, while I still prefer the first 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple is much better than I thought it was going to be. One of the shortcomings, in my opinion, of The Bone Temple is that the story is considerably smaller this time around. I mean, literally for like 98% of the movie, we are either with Spike and the Jimmies or Dr. Kelson and Samson. So I think if you go in knowing that and expecting that, then you're going to enjoy it more and it won't bother you as much. Also, the cinematographer and the music composer are different this time around, with unfortunately noticeably inferior results. And finally, I know this is a weird thing to say in a review of a bloody zombie movie, but this one to me was the most disturbing and probably the grossest of the 28 Later franchise. And I know, like, bloody zombie violence is one thing, but there are also some gruesome torture scenes as well. Don't think I didn't like the movie, though, because those are really all the negatives that I had. Everything else about the movie I enjoyed. And yeah, even though the story is smaller this time around, it does give it a chance to be a character-driven story, which I always appreciate. And it is attention-grabbing from start to finish. Also, it has a surprisingly excellent use of humor, and I've even laughed out loud a couple times. The directing, while not as good as Danny Boyle's in my opinion, was still top-notch, and the acting was incredible. Ralph Fiennes, who's great in everything, is great here, and I liked that they focused on his character more this time around. Seeing the end of 28 Years Later, I wasn't sure what to think about Jack O'Connell and his character, but in the hands of a lesser actor, it could have been ridiculous and over the top, and it was over the top at times, but he did manage to make it a more nuanced and intimidating and creepy performance. And really, if he doesn't work, the movie doesn't work. But luckily, he worked. Alfie Williams surprisingly doesn't have as much to do in this one as Spike. It feels like he really takes more of a backseat role in this one, but still, he was great for what, for what he did. In the end, while 28 years later, The Bone Temple was admittedly a step down, it was nowhere near a disappointment, and I still appreciated it quite a bit. In fact, let me just say that I'll just keep it as it has me deliriously excited for the next 28 years later, which I really hope they make. Apparently, Alex Garland is writing the script now, and I've heard rumors that it's been greenlit, but I still won't be celebrating until they actually start filming. And sounds like Danny Boyle's returning, so fingers crossed that that happens too. I give 28 years later, The Bone Temple a good rating. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Let me know in the comments if you've seen 28 years later, The Bone Temple yet. If you have, what did you think of it? Or if you haven't seen it yet, do you have plans to see it? Why or why not? I really do try to get to each and every comment, and I'm looking forward to talking with you guys. Let's make sure and keep it spoiler free, though. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, check out my review of 28 years later, or if you've watched that already, check out my most recent video, which aside from this one, which was the Five Nights at Freddy's sequel. So yeah, appreciate you guys, and until the next time, this is the guy with no name signing off.